Hello, everyone. It's your boy, Reckless Ray De Niro, and this is my intro screen and my new logo, so you'll be seeing it a lot. New things. Good morning, and welcome to Future Financial Strategies, a different show with a different take. We did the pilot episode, had a pretty good conversation down in the chat. I do check the chat. Went ahead and motivated me to go ahead and set up the email so that way people can email in questions, comments, suggestions. Tell me what you think about the logo. I think I'm going to do a bunch of different colorways of this. I like it. Might put it on some stuff. Might eventually have some merch. We'll see. I think I'm going to definitely going to do something special for when we hit our 100. That's definitely happening. We're going to talk. This is just bag talk. And that's what we're going to talk about. It's the reason you see him clutching that bag with my name on it. I like it. So let's get into it. I accidentally skipped a frame. I'm still learning how to do this. I like doing the slides. There will be just random shots of me also. I'll probably do some one-off, some quick hits in the car, out and about when stuff comes to me. So far, I've been planning this stuff, and I've been working a lot. So, obviously, when duty calls, you gotta answer it, because that's where we're at right now, but it's just for right now. Today, we are going to have a conversation on financial mindset. Namely, my financial mindset, because this is my channel, and it's just me sharing with you, my thoughts about some stuff, how I navigate from a financial perspective. So I figured I'd do this video just to lay out the ground rules of how my brain is working and like what I'm thinking about it. And, maybe some of it might be useful to you and help you with how you think about it. So jumping into it, what is money? What is it? Because to a lot of people, money has a lot of different meanings. For me, well, actually, not even for me. We're not going to start with that. We're gonna go with what is money to other people, because we'll get to mine last. Mine's not that important. So let's talk about it. If we look at the definition of money, that's a good one. Money is any item or verifiable record that is generally accepted as payments for goods and services and repayments of debt, such as taxes. Okay, so by that base definition, one of my favorite things, cryptocurrency, is money, because certain jurisdictions and states and whole countries accept payment in Bitcoin for taxes. So Bitcoin is money. But when it comes down to that, it's very arbitrary. A lot of people look at it and they're wondering what is it? Because we can get into the conversation of what it's backed by, what's its intrinsic value, in which case I would say dollars have no intrinsic value. I have that argument all the time. But it's accepted as payment, so yeah, you can navigate through life with it. But for me, it's actually very, very simple. It is nothing more than a tool. It is a means to. It is whatever form it takes. It's an arbitrary mean for exchange to me. So I'm not beholden to my cryptocurrency. I like to be where the ball's headed, and I do believe that is where the ball is headed. That aside, I pay my bills with dollars. I take out debt in dollars for sure, because as heavy as I am into crypto, like, I'm definitely going to take out debt in dollars. because the value of a dollar is always going down, which means that when I get around to paying back said debt, I'm paying back less money. It's just how it works. Inflation. It's a wonderful thing sometimes if you know how to work it. But for me, money is just a tool. It's nothing more. Like, I don't care about it. Numbers in the bank mean nothing to me. Actually, I don't have numbers in the bank because I don't just sit on cash. I don't find that entertaining at all. I think it's rather insane, actually, at this point. But I don't. So I don't view money as anything special or anything to be impressed by. Like, I prefer what I'm doing with it versus the having and oogling of it, and you know, I'm not trying to Scrooge McDuck dollars. We'll put it that way. So there there are a lot of people who are beholden to dollars, though. They think they're always talking about income, their income, how much money they got in the bank, and then I just look at them sideways. But for me, it's just a means too. So the money comes in and it goes out immediately. I try to be as cash broke as I can possibly muster without bouncing checks or overdrawn accounts. On to the next one. Does the Matrix have you? This is an interesting one, and there are definitely multiple matrices. Actually, I guess that would be plural for matrices that exist. And one of the ones that I find very interesting that people don't talk about, because like you guys see me talk about a lot of the different matrices out there. Especially if you see me catch me on a live, I go down rabbit holes after about the first 2 hours. But one of the ones that people really don't talk about because it's so entrenched and you're so indoctrinated into it is the financial matrix. The You're going to save money and then somehow retire by stacking up a bunch of money in the bank. That you're going to get to 60 and then that money's going to be worth something. And that you're going to be able to go off into the pasture and just sip mai tais on the beach. And that's just not how money works. Money flows. They don't teach you that money flows. They don't tell you that money flows, but money flows. And like, even if you aren't like super rich, because I'm not even rich. I'm not, let alone super rich. I do better. My money does better. It grows much faster when I am moving it to places where money is treated well. Sitting in the bank, it moves the slowest. It's basically stagnant. I mean, the interest rates now are at least interesting, but compared to like what you can get with better investment vehicles and the opportunities that are out there, even with it looking somewhat interesting now, it's still not beating inflation. So like, you're just going broke slowly unless you have a plan. So like, if I'm sitting in cash, which I don't even do that now, like I would honestly, me personally, I prefer to sit in bonds. The slight bit of variability on it for the time frame that I'm going to be holding those dollars, I'd rather have it in bonds and collect the dividend on it than have it sitting in cash getting 3% and losing to inflation guaranteed. There's just no way at the end of the time frame that I'm looking at for the next purchase, it's gonna, having it sitting in the bank will be better than having it sitting in bonds right now, in my opinion. But I the way that things are set up, it's set up so that you are broke or just over broke or barely making it or barely scraping by. They want you paycheck to paycheck. They want you paying as much taxes as possible. And they want you not asking questions, and they want you too busy and flustered to look up and think like, hey, this doesn't work, this isn't working, this doesn't work now. Like, they're giving us old advice, and the reason everybody's giving old advice is because it plays into what the Matrix wants. So like, if you're giving old bad advice that doesn't necessarily work now, but it's something for people to do, then you're doing what the status quo and the system wants. The system wants people not getting to the bag. They want you trying to get to the bag, but they don't want you to actually get it. They want you to run and run and run and run, and then eventually you burn out and you're tired, and then you die. And yeah, that's just where they have you, and they attack basically anyone who tries to give you real game about things that could potentially work for you or things that are more efficient, because like a lot of the stuff, like especially with these financial gurus, they're not tax efficient for the average person. They're not, I mean, honestly, they're not tax efficient if you have money either. I mean, math is math. Like it scales. So but it's one of the things that I always come back to is every place that you go, every job that you get, they're like, "Oh, you got to invest in your 401k." And it's like when you're just starting out and you're not really making any money. You're in the lowest tax bracket you're ever going to be in your life. But they tell you to fund the crap out of your 401k versus putting that money in a Roth, because on the back end of a Roth, you pay taxes. You don't ever pay taxes again. The benefit of a 401k is for people who are making money. It's not for people who are average or just starting out in the workforce, outside of the free money that you get for investing in it, because the whole premise of a 401k is it's pre-tax dollars. That means it lowers your taxable rate. That means it's not really useful until you have a taxable rate where you can lower it to a different tax bracket. If you're in the lowest tax bracket, you get nothing outside of the free money for overfunding or putting a lot of money in your 401k, because when you retire, you got to pay taxes on that. So like they're putting you in a position to where you're going to retire at the highest tax bracket you'll ever be, and then pay taxes on that money that they were like, "Oh, we gave you a deal early," when the actual deal is the Roth, where you're in the lowest tax bracket ever that you're most likely going to be in. And then when you retire, you then pay no taxes. So, I mean, that's just one of the things that is regularly told to people, that it's actually tax inefficient. Because if you're in the lowest tax bracket, you can't go to a lower tax bracket. You're already in the lowest one. So all you're I mean, you might as well just pay the taxes, because those are the lowest taxes you're going to pay, and then not pay taxes anymore, and just have a bunch, if you're going to go the retirement route. But the whole premise, the person who invented the 401k has said multiple times that that is not supposed to be the be all end all investment vehicle. It was supposed to be an addition to. And people are trying to make it the be all end all. And I think one of the reasons it's not a be all end all is because you got to pay taxes on the money. So at the end of the day, it's like a lot of people are setting up and they're going to have a set level expectation, and they're not going to be able to hit it because they're using one tool. And that's the other thing. The financial matrix wants you to just do one thing. They want you to feel good, set it and forget it, and just do one thing. And like everybody's got the magic bullet of one thing. And my experience with wealthy people, it's unless they own a business that they've gone out of their way to make successful, and even then, that's the primary thing, but it's not the only thing. They're always moving, because money wants to move. Money flows. So, does the matrix have you? Are you even doing one thing? That's another good question, because a lot of people just are scared to start. Like they're not starting. They're just paralyzed, or they're living paycheck to paycheck and YOLO in it and hoping that stuff works out later. And I'll tell you from personal experience, you're going to live longer than you expect. So if that is the case, you got to start asking yourself, are you playing into their game? Because even if you're YOLO in it, you're still paying taxes. You're paying taxes on all the stuff you're buying. You're paying taxes on the money you're making. You're paying taxes on gas. You're going to pay taxes when you die. You were taxed when you were born. We come into this matrix and we were just told that it's normal. And I'm not the type of person who's like, oh, I'm not going to work. Like, I'm always going to work. That's how I'm built. I'm a builder. That's what I like to do. But I'm not trying to just build for the sake of paying taxes and dying. Like, I'm not. That's basically unconscious slavery. Or at least you get to pick where you slave, and I ain't for that. Like, we're building on this channel. We are building towards a work optional lifestyle where we get to do what we want, and we're documenting the come up. Specifically on this channel, it'll be broad spectrum finance, but on my crypto channel, the cryptocurrency playlist, it has the stuff that I'm doing in the market as I'm building out my portfolio this year. If you are not tapped into that, I recommend tapping in. There's some gems over there as well. So let's go to the next topic. Next topic is action. So this is a quick hit. Obviously, some of these are probably going to be around this time frame because I know people ain't got time. So we're going to get into it, get it going, get it quick. Action items. And this is going to be an interesting one. So first of all, we got to identify how we see money. How are you viewing it currently, and how do you think you need to view it to be effective at accomplishing your financial goals? So if you're adversarial with money, you might want to reevaluate that. If you think that all rich people are crooks, you might want to reevaluate that if you're trying to, move forward and have more money or have more opportunity. If your current state is looking at $0 in the bank, or you are constantly going through crisis when it comes to finances, if a tire goes flat and you can't repair it, you might look at if your view of money is stress, if it's tied to stress, if it's tied to something that triggers something inside of you that triggers fear or flight or fight. These things are things that I always revisit, and I'm constantly reevaluating, because the way that you think about money affects how much money you can have. It puts a barrier on what you'll be able to accomplish. It puts a barrier on how much money you'll be able to build up, how much money you'll be able to save, how much money you'll be able to get together for an opportunity, for an investment. So that's goal number one, is to assess how you view money and get it solid and fine. And then the second part of that is to decide whether that is helping or hurting you in your goals and your journey. Action item number 2 is to identify, and this is for most people, because most people are in that financial matrix. I want you to identify 3 things that you are doing subconsciously, that you are doing just because you were programmed, because you've always done it, in regards to how you deal with money. Until the next episode, people, this is your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero. Actually, I got one more slide for you guys, because it is Thursday, and Thursday we have bag talk all night. We're starting at sometime between 7:30 and 8, and we go until 1 in the morning. And I know that's a weird time, but people come in and out, and we're just having the conversation. The first 2-3 hours, when people are still awake before everybody goes to bed that have jobs the next day, we keep it focused and dialed in on the bag talk. It's conversations like these. So you should probably stop by. Let me pull that slide up for you. And actually, if you go, and it's not on my channel, we don't have one over here yet. Currently, we're over on I Seen Your Little Podcast. Under the Going Live Tonight, if you type in at ISYLP show in the YouTube and put at ISYLP show, just like what it says on there, it'll pull that up. And matter of fact, if you if you just want to tap in with us, because he has other content on there. There's a couple of different things that are interesting that are going on over on this channel, which is why, and I was invited to take part in it, and I've been doing it since last year, towards the end of last year, and we're going to definitely be doing it through this year. If you want to, you'll see this exact same banner. And I think I'm going to release these episodes on Thursday with a reminder to come check me out over there. So you should be subscribed over here, but I will be live hosting over there. And it's going to be me, and we're going to just be talking about money. And then, at least for the time until people go to bed for work, then we talk about whatever we want. So hopefully you guys are having a wonderful Thursday. And, you know, if you get the opportunity later on and you want to come tap in before you get to bed, after you get them kids asleep, whatever you got going on, if it's after 7:30 and between 7:30 and 1 in the morning, we're gonna be having them conversations. So definitely make it a point to mark this down. You can add a notification. Also, like and subscribe my channel. So, and also make sure you have notifications on, because I don't spam people with stuff, because I'm not big like that yet. So you're not going to get spam. But then you'll know exactly when these videos come out. Not only that, generally speaking, if I'm doing lives throughout the week, if I happen to tap in on a live stream, I post about it. And that way you'll know, so you can come rock with me wherever I'm talking. And you can hear some of my crazy ass opinions on stuff. So those are a couple of things you definitely want to like, subscribe. I will also have ways to support the channel. Obviously, anything that comes into this channel monetarily will be reinvested in the channel. I'm part owner of a business. I don't need the money from this, which is why I get to do this and kind of say whatever I want. You know, it's kind of my way of documenting my journey and some of the stuff that I'm making before I've made it, because I don't think that it's the same when I'm in the trenches with you versus after I've made it, dictating to you what I did that may or may not be relevant or work anymore, because things move fast in the financial markets. So bear that in mind. But for those of you who are rocking with me, I am happy that you guys are here rocking with me, and I'm looking forward to the rest of 2023 and all the adventures that we're going to have. I'll talk to some of you later tonight, and for those of you who I don't talk to later tonight, I will catch you next Thursday. This is your boy, Reckless Ray. We are out.